Good afternoon and welcome to our webinar today. Today we have a guest, Chris, on the phone, and we'll be talking about his business and how he's working with HubShout as a reseller. So without any further ado, we're going to get into the subject of today. But first, we have Adam and the team up in Rochester on the phone as well.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is Adam Stetzer joining you from Rochester. I have all the account managers here at HubShout. Say hi, everybody. Hi. And we're really excited to be here and excited to hear from Chris.
Great. So let me do a quick introduction. Chris is actually a relatively new reseller partner of ours, and he's very quickly gotten into the HubShout system, learned our methodology, is very active in the forum, and has also then his business has been growing very fast with us. So we wanted to sort of contrast this with Chuck, who was our last guest speaker, and bring in Chris, who again is relatively new, and learn a little bit about his business and how he's using HubShout. So without any further ado, Chris, take it away.
All right. Thanks a lot, Chad, and thank you, Adam. Glad to be here. Just hoping today that I might be able to give some good tips to some of you that are looking for new ways to expand your business. And I want to do that by just sharing a little bit about what I've done and how I've grown my business since I started, and then also at the time when I added HubShout, which has been a huge blessing to my business. I'm sure some of you are already experiencing that. So really, I've got an entrepreneurial spirit. I started looking for a business that I could run as my own since the time I was in high school, and for years I've been trying to find the right thing. In the meantime, I was a business banker. I ran the West Coast for a company that was producing job fairs and private recruiting events, and all that time I've been trying, as my wife can testify, I've been trying to find something that is going to be a good fit for me. I really wanted to find something that was going to give me freedom, and that's my motivation aspect, as you see on that slide. That's going to give me freedom and allow me to support people that are in need and take care of my family. But I kind of fell into my business in an interesting way. I started an e-commerce store a few years back, and that was hunting and camping knives. And I was competing against Amazon and eBay because I didn't want to give them my 12% of my profits. And I started a website and thought, well, I've got a website up. How am I going to get people to find it? And that's how I got into internet marketing, and right away developed a passion for it. So within 6 or 8 months of research on my own site, I was able to, if you typed in hunting knives or camping knives for sale online, you would be able to find my website right on the top for a long time. Unfortunately, the profit margins weren't where they needed to be for me to make it in that business, but it did start my passion for internet marketing. So we can go to the next slide if you're ready. You guys there?
Yeah, we're
good.
Chris,
go ahead.
Update for me. I think we're good.
Oh, sorry. Oh, there it goes. Okay, there's a delay. I got to get prepared for that, like you said. Okay, so how I built my business. So I have a few different revenue streams for my business. I started myself on the side while I was working full-time over the last couple years, building my business locally with people that I already had connections with friends and family that have businesses that could benefit from increased web traffic. And then I realized that there were other companies out there who had resources in place to bring the right clients to me that I did not have access to myself. And I'm sure that a lot of you feel that way. You know, if I could just get in front of that company or this company, I know I could help them, but how do you do that? And so one of the things that I started doing was reaching out to other companies that have those resources. So I reached out to some marketing companies and some marketing companies that either didn't offer internet marketing services with their other products, or maybe were offering internet marketing services but outsourcing it and seeing if I could come in and help them do a better job than the current company that they're outsourcing to. And that has been a huge success for me, is outsourcing, offering outsourced internet marketing to other companies. And so I was just, as I was doing this, I realized that, think about web development companies, think about IT networking companies that maybe already have a nice client base and are looking for an additional stream of revenue. and I've found a lot of success in talking to companies like this. So what I do is, my sale to them was, hey, listen, you don't have to hire an SEO team. You can send all of that to me. I'll take care of the client as you. So just like another way to white label, as we do with our HubShout, as a lot of you do with HubShout right now, and they can send all of that over to us and to me, and that way minimize their own risk in not having to hire employees, but also see that the products that I'm offering and taking care of with the clients are going to bring the results that they want in order for them to trust me. And over time, this has grown more and more for my business. So clients are coming on a regular basis from other companies as well as my own company. So I've kind of got multiple streams of revenue and still kind of figuring out how it all works. But I encourage you guys to think about other ways that you can utilize other companies' resources to bring new clients in that you might not have access to otherwise. Another thing that's been a big success for me is caring for my customers. I've had a lot of clients who have become clients because they know someone else I'm already working with, and they say, hey, Chris really cares about my success. He does above and beyond what we expect him to do, and the return on investment that we're having with him has been good enough that I want to refer him to you. And so what I would encourage everybody to do is make sure your customers know that you care about them, because that is going to bring huge results from referral sources. And I'll talk a little bit more about that coming up. And then finally, in building my business, sales training has been a huge thing. So I can talk about internet marketing, I can talk about SEO all day long, and the issues that I was coming up with and seeing were, my employees are not necessarily on the same page as me. And that's something that I don't want to happen. So one of the ways I've really gotten past that is holding regular training sessions, which is also on the next slide too, but also letting employees listen to me while I talk to potential clients. So while I'm getting ready to close a deal, while I'm sharing the products that I'm offering, the benefits it could bring to the client that or the potential client that I'm talking to, I have my employees listening to that on a regular basis so they can hear how I talk about SEO, how I talk about internet marketing, and then they can go off and do the same thing. So I really encourage anybody that's thinking about how can I improve my results and how can I improve my my sales. Let anybody who's involved in the sales process with you hear how you talk about it. And if you're doing a good job, they're going to do a good job as long as they know what you're saying and how to talk about that. So next slide, guys.
Yeah, and while we load that up, Chris, a couple questions coming in from the chat window. So first one, I guess, is more of a comment. It's interesting that you started in e-commerce. I did that too. This person's commenting, and actually, as I reflect, that's kind of where I started too. And it's interesting that you say that was your first point of entry into internet marketing. Chris, I guess it's just one of the more obvious things to think of. I want to get into the online sales space. Okay, I'll pick a widget and sell it. But I guess we all pretty quickly realized, boy, those margins are really thin, and big bulk buyers like Amazon, can get directly to Chinese distributors and really beat you down on price. The next one is, Chris, you mentioned your first contacts were made by using your own network. Could you talk a little bit more about that as you transitioned into your new business model and how you utilize those first contacts?
Yeah, sure, definitely. I mean, I was in a unique position because I had been a business banker for a large bank in my town for over 3 years, so I had a lot of connections with a lot of businesses around here. That was really how I first got started, by picking up clients from those connections that I already had. But I'll tell you, there's a lot of clients that have come through just friends and family. I know that everybody's circle of friends and family. There's people that own businesses of all different types, and maybe they're just local SEO clients. But the nice thing is, when you take care of those first initial clients that you have and you do a good job with them, they have their own circle of friends and family and business owners within their own network that they can refer to you. So I think that the nice thing is, once you have a good product in place that's unique in the marketplace for the industry that you're serving, you can really not be ashamed to approach people and say, hey, listen, I know you've got this business in place. I know we're friends, but I think I can help you add more customers. And I've been able to do that. And really, it's about showing results. So I hope that helps a little bit.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you.
Great. So, yeah, let's move on then. So be the expert. So I just wanted to give a couple tips about the way that you approach internet marketing. And one of the things for me is I don't know about any of you, but I am extremely ADD. So I love change. I can bounce from one thing to the next all day long, and that kind of helps, especially when I'm working on all the clients that I have. But one of the things I loved about internet marketing is that it's always changing. But that also means that you have to stay up to date. So I spend at least 45 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes every day reading articles, reading books, getting involved in conversations like the HubShout forums, which I'll talk about some more too. But I just encourage you, as you're building your business, as you're working in this industry, stay on top of what's happening because it changes really quickly. And any of you that look at Search Engine Land or Search Engine Watch, these news sites for SEO and SEM, what they do is they come up with 10 or 15 or 20 articles a day with new information that's going on in our industry. Our industry is rapidly shifting all the time, and that's what I love about it. I don't know about you guys, but that's something I find really exciting. But you've got to stay on top of it. I talk to some clients that are, have multi-million-dollar companies, and these clients know a lot about SEO. Some of these guys do anyways, and ladies. But when they ask me a question, if I don't know the answer to it, I could sound, unfortunately, like I'm incompetent because they're on top of the news, they're on top of the things that are happening. I have to be as well, and that really helps me to come across as the expert to my clients. So that also has to do with employee training, kind of like I talked about sales training on the last slide. Make sure that everyone who's representing your company is up to date on the latest information and things that are happening in our industry. And our industry is one that can take a lot of work to keep up on. As you guys know, it's just constantly changing. So the other thing that's also been really helpful besides these news things is HubShout forums. And I love to see when people put random, totally technical SEO information up on a forum, and then within 20 or 30 minutes later, there's an answer from somebody who knows. Because we don't all know the answer to everything, definitely encourage you guys to go to the forums. I've gotten a lot of successful, quick answers off of those forums, and also things that I didn't even know about I've learned through them. So read those forums. There's a lot of information there, but definitely a great way to keep up to date with what's happening in internet marketing. Next slide. Okay, so here we go. Be humble. This is the thing that has gotten me in trouble in the past, and I've learned over the years. It's not something I knew right away. I am an expert in internet marketing. I am an SEO. Unfortunately, I don't have all the answers. And so one of the things that I hear from clients that I have now, from potential clients that I'm meeting with on a regular basis every week, is the guy didn't know anything about internet marketing. The guy, I asked a question to this guy, and I could tell that he was making up an answer, and that is never a place that you want to be in. So I love this quote from Benjamin Franklin: "Trickery and treachery are the practices of fools that have not wits enough to be honest." Because it is not easy to say, I don't know the answer. That's a difficult thing to say. It takes a lot of honesty, and it takes a lot of trust in the person you're talking to that they're going to accept that. But here's what I've found. When I do that, when I don't know the answer to, let's just say, a really technical SEO question that comes across from a big client, when I do that and take my time and say, sorry, I'm going to have to get back to you on this, the client respects you more for it. And so be honest. There's no reason to hide the fact that they caught you on something that you aren't familiar with or that you don't know the answer to. And if you are able to say, you know what, I don't know that answer, but I'm going to find out and I'm going to get back to you tomorrow or this afternoon, you'll get more respect from your clients because of it. So be humble. There's a big industry. Nobody knows everything. Next slide.
Yeah, quick question on that, Chris. Some of the trainees who are in the room with us today know that I've been stressing this point for the last week. If you don't know the answer, don't make it up. But I'm kind of interested in your thoughts. What do you think is the reason people resist that? Is it embarrassment? That they feel like they should know it? Because I think we've all been in that seat, right? And we've all been tempted to maybe go with a hunch or stretch something you sort of know. I think what you're saying here is don't do it. You earn more points. But can you speak to why people resist that, or why did it take you so long to figure that out, or for me for that matter?
Yeah, I think it's all about pride. When I say I am, the founder of this internet marketing company, and I'm talking to, let's just say a CEO of a $100 million company that's about to give us $100,000 a year in revenue, I feel like I've got a reputation to uphold, right? And so it's hard to say, you know what, Mr. CEO, I don't know the answer to that question that you just asked me. But I will find it out. It's all about pride when we don't want to let that out. But like I said before, the respect that comes from those clients and from people you talk to when they say, you know what, Chris is really honest. When he doesn't know the answer, he says it, and he always goes back and finds the right answer, is worth 100 times more than trying to make up something on the spot, because it's obvious. It's obvious to a lot of people when you do that, and I'm sure that all of you have been in the other end of that too, where you felt like the person talking to you was making up a story when they really weren't sure about the answer to your question. So, yeah, it's all about pride, and humility is a good thing. Pride comes before the fall, right?
Excellent, Chris. No, I really appreciate that answer. And as I was listening to you talk, I'm trying to think, I've never had anyone say to me, no, I have to have that answer right now. If I've used what you just said, that's a great question, but I don't know the answer, but I will get it to you in 24 hours. No one's ever said, no, unacceptable. So, it's whatever fears you might have around that, you just outlined the positives of it, Chris, but also people accept that. So I think that's an excellent point.
Yeah, definitely. You're right, I've never heard that either. No one's ever come back and said, unacceptable, you're fired. And said, hey, thanks for your honesty. That's what you're going to hear. Okay, so let's talk about setting client expectations. This is, for the most part, before a sale. So before you make a sale, and I found a lot of success with this, are these points, which you've probably heard before, at least a few of them. The first one being don't guarantee numbers. I just had a business that I work with more on a networking capacity than as a client send me an email coming from an SEO company that guaranteed page 1 rankings for $79 a month. So what does that mean? I don't know what that means, but I could tell you that that's a big red flag right there. And I don't want to guarantee numbers because I'm not in control of Google's algorithm, and none of us are. And so I just encourage you guys to, when you are asked, what can you guarantee me? Guarantee that you're going to do the deliverables. No problem. I guarantee that you're going to get this, this, and this in our deliverables. But I can guarantee that we're going to help your site. But don't guarantee numbers. It just gets you in trouble. I had a salesperson who made the mistake of telling a local SEO client, we'll get them up on the first 3 results in 6 months. 6 months came by. I had not heard that he made that promise, and it really bit me. So just don't guarantee numbers, and you'll stay out of a lot of trouble. Also, make it clear what your monthly costs include, and don't overpromise. So what that means is you're going to get these deliverables. We're going to do the on-site. And what I do for my clients, by the way, not everybody does this, and some people charge for this, no problem. But what I do is I offer the on-site changes on the client's website when it's feasible. When there's not a web developer keeping me from accessing the site directly. So I make sure that the clients know exactly what I'm offering them, and then say anything above and beyond that we'll have to talk about. Because here's what happened to me one time. I had a client who said, Chris, thank you so much. We're so glad to get started with you. I signed them up with a product. They had a 1,000-page e-commerce site, and they said, can you go through these pages and start putting titles and descriptions in? And that was obviously something that I was not able to do physically. I mean, we were talking about hundreds of hours of work. And so that's where I got into trouble with that one, is they were assuming I would do the on-page work for their entire 1,500-page e-commerce site, which was not included, obviously, in their standard SEO package, right, guys? So that's the part where you got to come up with. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I have one question pop in here on your points here, which is it's easy to say don't overpromise, but talk to me about how you accomplish that and still close the deal.
Yep. So what I do is I say, listen, here's what's coming with the package that we're offering. It looks like your site might need some more work. And if it needs more work than the pages we're targeting, which is really where our on-site, right, your guys' HubShout's detailed report comes in, if it's above and beyond the pages that we're targeting, and it's going to take a lot of hours, I have a consulting fee, and my consulting fee is X amount per hour, and that's something I say up front to all my clients, especially ones that I think might have a lot more work than what's involved in our regular SEO packages with them. So I make that clear right up front. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So what you're saying is you use the consulting piece as leverage to kind of slow them down if they're taking you too far out of bounds, and that does make sense because then you've set that expectation. You can only have a certain amount, and then so what would you charge them more for extra, or basically negotiate your way through that?
Yeah, I have a set dollar amount. It's $100 an hour. So $100 an hour if you want me to do 1,000 pages of meta descriptions and title tags on 1,000 pages of your sites. It's $100 an hour for however long that takes. So yeah, but if we're coming up with a dollar amount, we'll have to look at the project itself if they want a fixed dollar amount. So that's that part. Yep. So give a timeline is really important. The second I have a client close, I set these expectations. I say, here's when our next conversation is going to be. Here are the things that I need from you, and we're going to go over that also in just a little bit. But here's the things that I need from you. Here's when my on-site report's going to come. The work that I can do is up to you after we talk about that on-site report. And then at the same time I do the on-site report is when I do the dashboard walkthrough through HubShout's dashboard. So I do set that appointment right after they sign up, usually a week and a half in advance, because HubShout's really good about getting that on-site report usually within a week. But by a week and a half, I know I'm safe. And that's when I set the next conversation, so they know exactly when we're going to talk next and what to expect for that next talk. It's going to be on-site walkthrough and dashboard walkthrough. And then the last thing I want to say for this set expectations is I want the clients to know that I want to keep them forever. So I think the landscape in internet marketing and SEO has shifted more and more as companies are starting to build SEO into a permanent place in their marketing and budgeting structure. But that being said, there's still a lot of clients out there who might look at SEO like PPC and say, I'm going to try to run a 3-month project here. I'm going to try to run a 6-month campaign. And one of the things I want to dispel right from the beginning with all my clients is that SEO is a long-term investment, and it's a month after month after month type of investment. And so I want to make sure that the client is expecting that as long as they're getting a return on their investment with me, as long as they're getting great results, they could see value in the products that I'm offering them, that they're going to stay with me forever. And so I let them know we can adjust our campaign to make sure that it's working long term, but I want you to be my client forever. And you know what? I've had one client leave me, and that's it over the entire time that I've been working in this industry. And so I think that a big reason for that is they know coming into it that if they're gonna get a good result with me, they're gonna stick with me forever. And I make sure that my clients get good results. So next slide. All right, so I wanted to talk about how HubShout really saved my business, just a little bit here. What happened for me was, and I'm sure that some of you on the line right now might have experienced something like this or something similar. What happened for me was I was at a point where I had 10 or 12 clients myself, and I was doing all of the work. I was writing articles, I was writing blogs, I was doing submissions, I was doing social bookmarking, I was even doing social media management for these clients, everything, top to bottom, and I was probably making the equivalent of, $20,000 a year in profit with these 10 clients, which obviously isn't going to pay the bills, and I was working 50 hours a week. I was in huge trouble, thinking to myself, how can I get another 30 or 40 clients, which is what I need to be able to support my family and reach the goals that I have over the next year. And what I did was I searched around for help, outsourced help, talked to some Odesk people, that outsource through India and Pakistan and all that sort of stuff. Wasn't satisfied with anything I was finding out there, and I was fortunate enough to come across HubShout. And I say fortunate because really HubShout has saved my business. because I could not have added the clients that I needed to in order to stay in business in the way that I was going before. So the thing that I love about HubShout, besides all of the little products and great things that come along with it, as far as the dashboard and all these different things, is that I can offer all of my solutions through one company and save myself. Literally, I'm at the point now where it'd probably be 150 hours of work every single week. So instead of hiring employees to do that, I was able to bring on HubShout, and the cost is obviously much less to outsource this work to HubShout than it would be to have hired 4 or 5 people to do the amount of work I needed with the clients I started bringing in over time. So I love the fact that I can go to one place and have all the answers for all my clients as far as anything they might need in internet marketing. So I utilize SEO primarily. SEO is the main focus for me because I know, and most of you guys listening will know, that in long-term investment-wise, SEO is definitely the way to go. Then when clients ask me for pay-per-click, I have that option, social media management. I do a lot of local SEO packages with clients, especially clients that are just really focused on a brick-and-mortar location. And then I've got a couple clients who use the email campaigns through HubShout's dashboard and are having great success tracking that and doing newsletters. And website development I'm really excited about. Obviously that's a new product and we're kind of all figuring it out right now, but I've already had one site go through and it came out just beautifully within about a week, which was incredible. It was a small site, by the way, so don't get that expectation for all of them. And I've got a couple more sites that are on the way that I have developed. So I'm just really excited about being able to offer all these different solutions for every aspect of internet marketing through one company. And so that's why I am just always speaking the praises of HubShout, because I would not be in business without them. So next slide.
Well, the feeling's mutual. We wouldn't be in business without you either. But a couple questions for you here, Chris, that came in while you were talking. One is, you mentioned that you did a lot of this work, or all of the work yourself when you started. As you have grown, have you cut your personal clients back and focused on your reps, or have you also continued to grow some clients you service personally?
Yeah, so I actually, over the course of time, have transferred pretty much all of my clients into HubShout products. So some of them I signed on pretty early, and before I was using HubShout, the pricing, the structure, everything was different. But I've been able to, even though lose some revenue for myself because I'm obviously having to bring in HubShout services at a cost. I transferred into HubShout even though I wasn't making as much profit as I would normally like to make, because I was able to bring in HubShout. It was worth it for me. So not to have to take up 40 hours a week in service. So yeah, I've transferred pretty much everybody into HubShout. Was that the question there?
Yeah, here's another one for you, Chris. I think this is going to be an interesting one. I want to offer the services like Chris is talking about, but I don't want my customers coming to me when they have questions about SEO or SEM because I won't know what to tell them. So that's what this person typed in. What advice would you have, Chris, for this reseller?
Yeah, so that is a good question. I'm sorry, 1 second here, guys. Having a little bit of fun. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I've got an office here, and I've got, unfortunately, phones ringing off the hook over here. So that's a good thing, I guess.
That's good for business, right? Yeah.
Can you go ahead and re-ask that question, if you don't mind?
Sure. The question was basically, I want to do what Chris is talking about and grow my business, but I don't want my customers calling me and asking me questions about SEO and SEM because I don't know how to answer them.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Call me. Call me. That's what I'm doing right now. So yeah, no, I think that you're going to have to learn, because if you want to run a successful company in internet marketing, you've got to know some of the answers. Now, you guys offer, can you correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys offer account managers to white label as well, right? Your account managers?
Right, we're beta testing that exact thing where you could actually have an end client call in directly and have someone answer the phone in a white label fashion. So it is not fully released in our pricing, but we do have a few folks beta testing it, so we hope to have that in the near future. But I think even if they did use us for that first line of customer support, what you said originally, Chris, is still true. You have to have a certain amount of knowledge to be in this business because you're still selling it, which means you're setting that expectation and all those things you touched on in a few slides ago. And if you don't do that right, no matter who's answering the phone, there'll be a mismatch between expectations and what actually happens, which means you'll lose that customer in the end.
Right, and that's why, yeah, I think at least for now, before you guys are offering full white label, account management, I think that's going to be, if you want to start an SEO business, you've got to at least love SEO and have a desire to learn more because clients are going to expect that from you. Okay, so let's move on. Yep, let's move on here. You've closed a sale. So just wanted to give you guys some tips on what you should do when you close a sale to make your life easier so your account manager at HubShout isn't nagging you like crazy, Terrence. And so to make your life easier and to make everything run smoothly for the client, I want my clients to know that the day they sign up with me, there is work being done. And that does not happen unless you take care of the work that you've got to do to get everything prepared, to get all your clients prepared through the HubShout dashboard. So you need to get writer's instructions in there immediately. If you don't have anything right off the bat, take some information from your client's About Us page on their website and put that in there as a writer's instructions. Tweak it if you need to. But they can't go, the writers can't go out and start doing the deliverables and the work until they have some information to go off of about what your client's looking for. Keywords and deep linking, I go in there and put them in myself. I know some people, they send an email or they rely on their account manager to do that. I want the keywords and the deep linking keywords, URLs and everything all set up at the time I asked for the SOW from HubShout. The quicker all this stuff is in, guys, just like I was saying before, the quicker that we're going to get work started for your clients. And then also I want to talk about on-site work, and this is something that is really great to get a report after a week and a half of having a client set up in HubShout system to be able to go off and pull up this report, send it to your client, and say, here are the recommendations. And I've really I love the technical side of SEO and internet marketing, and so I love to go in there and work on the client's websites. But that's something that you got to get done as quickly as possible. I had an issue with this with a client who was a really large client. It was a professional package on the SEO side, and they had a website developer that took forever to make any changes. And I'll tell you that first month I was getting really scared because we're doing all this off-site stuff and we're doing articles and blogs and social bookmarking, and we're not seeing the results on the website and as far as their rankings go. And so it's really scary for me, and I knew the reason was because the on-site recommendations that came across through the detailed report from HubShout have not been implemented on that client's site. What happened was I finally was able to get through to the developer, have them make the changes. It was a month and a half into the campaign by this time, and barely any changes had happened in the client's campaign. And as soon as those on-site changes were implemented, and of course a bunch of content stuff that HubShout doesn't get as detailed as what content to put on the site itself. I wrote a bunch of content, got everything updated on this site. It's a big website, big company. By 2-3 weeks after that was put in place and implemented, which is about 2 months into the campaign, all of a sudden everything jumped like crazy. And those guys have had a 400% increase in organic traffic over the last 6 months. And I guarantee none of that would have happened without the on-site stuff being implemented. So I really want to encourage anybody listening that signs up a new client or has clients out there, get the on-site things implemented as quickly as possible. Because if the search engines don't know what your site is about, you can send all the links you want over there. If it's not backed up by the site itself, you're not going to get the results that you're looking for. The other thing besides the on-site is the tracking. So the other thing I really encourage everyone to do is get tracking in place with your clients. I've got one client who set up the contact form and has seen their average contact forms filled out on their site go from like 6 a month up to like 30 a month. And they know that a huge part of that is the work that we're doing for them and the campaign that we're running for them. And they're so happy with me because of it. So get the tracking in there. It really, really helps. And then follow through. So that is more in the account manager type of relationship that you have. When you get emails from your account manager, and I get probably 10 a day or 12 a day, you got to follow through because things fall through the cracks and clients get upset if they aren't being taken care of, and they can't be taken care of if you're not doing all the work that you need to. So when you get an email from your account manager, respond, reply, even though you're on vacation, whatever it might be, just so they know that you are caring for your customers, and that really helps build your relationship with the account manager too. So next slide.
And hey, Chris,
Yeah,
I
Chris,
actually want
those
to
are
jump in.
excellent.
This is Chad.
Okay,
just want to jump
go
in
ahead.
because one of the things that you're talking about here that I think is so critical is that taking ownership and realizing that we're not miracle makers. We have a process and an approach, but at the end of the day, we all need to work as a team. And so the fact that you're taking ownership of these things, the writer instructions and setting up keywords and thinking about where on the site we want to be linking, is really critical to success. And so again, I think I talked about this in the last webinar. There are two ways to kind of view HubShout. Either you can view us as a vendor or as a partner. And I think some of the things you're talking about really show that when you work with us as a partner, the results that we can get as a team are much better than when you look at us just as a vendor. So Adam, I don't know if there's any other questions there.
Yeah, well, that's an excellent point, Chad. And I was thinking similar thoughts as Chris was walking through, talking about the on-site versus the off-site and how he really had to push the client to make that happen. That's something HubShout can't do. And the team here at HubShout was laughing at me because I say at least 5 times a day, on-site SEO is necessary but not sufficient, but I think we need to define what necessary means for some people. So we were laughing about that. But there were a couple of questions that popped in here, Chris, on your slide here, which is an excellent slide. One is when you were talking about keyword research, how do you choose the correct keywords, and do you have a specific methodology you could share?
Yeah, sure. I think a big part of this has to do with what I call discovery call. Discovery call is the first time I sit down. That might be on the phone if it's a national client, or it might be here locally where I'm located. But what I do is I sit down with the client. I find out what they're looking for, where they feel like they're lacking. What are the products that they're offering but they're not getting inbound calls for? What are the products that they're offering that they feel are not understood or not seen by their potential customers? So keyword research is something that I do intensively. I actually got the idea from my account manager Terrence and come up with 100 or 120 or 150 because he likes to work so hard keywords related to the products that the client is offering, and then sit down and narrow down to exactly what they're looking for. So I love keyword research. I have a Excel spreadsheet open like 24/7, multiple tabs, working on potential clients and even updating existing clients. But what I do is go through and find the keywords that fit the budget that they might have, as well as fit the target that they have. So a lot of clients offer more than one kind of product, and narrowing down what they're looking for is part of that discovery call is really, really helpful, because you come back to them with it, and I've had this happen before too, and you show them a bunch of keywords that you think they should target, and they say, Chris, this doesn't have anything to do with our business, bad job. And that's never a place you want to be. So the more time you have talking to the client, finding out about their business, about what they care about, what they're looking for, the better you're going to have results as far as keyword research goes. Does that help?
Excellent. Yeah, excellent. And Chris, here's another one for you from our chat window. You sound very knowledgeable about technical aspects. Do you have any technical SEO books you could recommend to us who are still trying to learn?
Sure. You want to know what one of the ones I started with was SEO for Dummies. I love SEO for Dummies. There's a lot in there. It's a huge book. That's a great place to start. Here, let me go. Actually, I'm pulling up right now on another monitor. I'm pulling up my Amazon orders here because I'm constantly reading SEO books. But there's a bunch of them out there. If you go to Amazon.com and you search in SEO, and look under the books section, you're going to find a whole bunch. I just got SEO Made Simple, which just came out recently, and but I think SEO for Dummies is my favorite. Anytime I have an employee, the first thing I give them is SEO for Dummies, because it's a huge book with tons of information, and it goes into the technical side, not to the depth that you need to actually be doing the work, but definitely to depth where you could start talking about it.
Chris, that was one of the first books I read on SEO. I'm just still out on my bookshelf here. It is a good book.
Yeah, I love it. I give it to everybody every one of my employees first thing. So, and interns too. I got an intern that's going to be reading that book this month. So.
Chris, here's another one, and I'll let you get to your next slide here. I think this is a really good one. How do you explain to someone when they ask, why is SEO so expensive?
Yep, that's a good question. And so a big part of that is expectations, right? I had a salesperson who sold a package to a lady who did not understand what she was getting at all, and thought that $500 a month was just out of this world to spend on SEO or internet marketing. And so what I do is I go through the deliverables and say, listen, how long would it take you to write a 5-paragraph blog that's well written, that has links built into co-citations to other websites of authority as well as your own, and how long would it take you to write this? And then let me ask you another question, because they might say, it takes me an hour to write this, an hour and 10 minutes, whatever it might be. And then I said, now how long would it take you to find a website of authority in your industry that would accept this article and post it up on their site? And that's where it gets really technical, right? We don't have, most people, including myself, don't have the types of relationships, the types of access to important websites of authority that are industry specific around the web that would even take that information from us, which is a huge part, right, as we all know, of getting the client's authority up on their website is to have links coming from other sites of authority. And so the resources that are in place that we can offer our clients because of HubShout are just incredible. And so there's definitely going to be someone sitting behind a desk actually writing information, which is the stuff that is so hard, it takes so much time. And when I talk to a client about that, I mean, and we go through, look at this, you're getting 22 articles of blogs that are unique, brand new content for each of them every single month. How much time do you think that's taking? And people understand that we're basically employing people to work for you, and there's definitely a cost for that. Does that help?
Yeah, that's excellent, Chris. And I think the question is ironic, too, because study after study shows that the cost per lead from SEO, when you have the appropriate time horizon, is the lowest around. It is one of the best inbound marketing sources. But I think people who ask that question often don't have an appropriate time horizon. You said it earlier in your presentation, this is a long-term gig. They're looking at 3 months saying, I haven't gotten any leads, and then they discontinue their SEO activities, which ironically is like throwing the money out the window. So it really isn't the most expensive way to get leads. It's one of the most cost-effective if you're willing to make that long-term, year-long commitment to it. And I think it's interesting to have that discussion with people who don't understand.
Yeah, definitely, and be upfront. I am so upfront with everybody that even considers, purchasing a package with me. This is going to take a long time, and I'm not going to put you into a package that's not going to make sense for you financially. So if you don't have 6 months at a minimum worth of investment for going into this package, I would suggest that you don't. I don't want somebody to come in for 3 months because, yeah, by the second and third month, pretty much all of my clients are getting great results already. They're already seeing huge increases in traffic. But what's going to happen by the 6th month compared to what's going to happen by the 2nd month, you can't even compare the two. So I always make sure, listen, you need to have 6 months worth of funds set aside for this. And if you can't afford it, let's talk about other options. All right. So let's go into the next slide, constant communication. So this is really just one of the ways I talked about at the very beginning that I keep clients. I have relationships with my clients. They know me. They call me with random questions on how do I add this picture to my website, Chris? Things that I don't obviously aren't typically something that I'm focusing on, but I'm happy to help, especially if it's a 5-10 minute thing and not charge extra for. I talk to my clients on a regular basis. I can tell you that looking at my client list, when I go down my list of all my clients, I have talked to every one of them within the last 3 or 4 weeks at a minimum. So I make sure that I'm always talking to them, that I'm always calling them just to say, hey, did you see the results this last week? You bounced up here. You got a bunch of traffic coming in from this keyword. I talk to them on a regular basis, and I tell them anytime you have a question, whether it's your website related, whether it's internet marketing related, anytime you have any questions, just call me or email me, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And I typically get back to everybody the same day, at least my clients. Sorry, Terrence. But the other thing that's really important is when you do that is it develops trust, so they know that you care and that you're in it for them. And I am. I love to see businesses improving their revenue, improving their traffic, and success stories are really the way that you build your business, because I can go off and share those with other businesses I'm talking to as well. So it improves retention to know that you're there, that you're available, and builds relationships. Any of you guys that have been out in the internet marketing sales world for a while will know that I talk to probably 70% of the businesses I talk to that are already doing something with internet marketing have no idea what they're getting. They have no idea what they're paying for, and they haven't talked to the person that signed them up since the time they got signed up. And that is just unacceptable in internet marketing. This is a constantly changing, a fluid industry, and the more contact you have with your clients, the more they're going to respect you, and the better relationship you're going to have. Plus, it increases the chance of referrals. So businesses call me up, and I get requests and emails from other businesses on a regular basis because of people that I'm working with now that say, Chris really cares, and Chris is in it for me, and that is the best way to build your business. Next slide. All right, so just wanted to bring up a few things here. I know we're kind of probably going a little bit longer, but a few things that I thought would be helpful for everybody. Treating all clients like they're big clients. I started my business with a lot of small clients, a lot of local SEO clients, and like I said, those clients have been the best referrers for me because they've gotten good results. So always treat everybody like a big client, and I think we saw something about that on the forums recently. I kind of chimed in, but I definitely encourage you guys to do that because people will notice, and maybe this business is just going to be a local business and local client, and that's it. But they know other businesses out there, and they'll be your best referrers if they know that you care about them. Always be networking. So I love going to chambers of commerce. I love going to referral groups. I got a whole bunch around the Chicago suburbs where I'm located that I'm talking with all the time. And 6 months down the line after I met somebody, I get a call saying, you know what, now I'm ready, now I'm interested. And so you never know, but talk to as many businesses as you can. That's a great way locally to grow your business. Always have a contract in place, and I do recommend 6 months, even though HubShout's requirement is 3 months. I recommend 6 months for a contract, and then 30 days cancellation after that with automatic renewals, and gotten good success from that. Bill clients automatically as much as possible. And HubShout's going to always bill you on the first. There's no way around it. You're going to get charged. You've got to make sure that your clients are paying you too. And then finally, utilize HubShout's resources to keep your clients. So I love working with my account manager. Terrence is amazing. He's always on top of things. He's always looking out for me when I'm forgetting or missing things. I love the dashboard. I'm in it all day long. Constantly have it open and checking out my clients' results and looking for what I can do to fix things and to work on my clients' issues and keep their campaigns going strong. Nurturing emails are another great way to keep in touch with your clients. Marketing collateral. So you can kind of read through here, but I just wanted to let you guys know that the more you utilize these resources, the better results you're going to have. When I took all of HubShout's marketing collateral, rebranded it for my company, all of a sudden I thought, man, my company is so professional. Look at these marketing materials. Look at these pamphlets that I've created. And I brought them out and met with businesses. and I look like I'm totally a multi-million-dollar internet marketing company. And we get that stuff for free from HubShout, so definitely take advantage of it. It is really well done, and it definitely makes you present yourself as a company that knows what they're doing on the marketing. Because we work on internet marketing, but having collateral materials like HubShout provides us makes us look even better. So love to use that stuff. So yeah, use the forums, and I really appreciate you guys listening to me, and hopefully you've picked some things up. And any other questions there, Adam?
Yeah, I've got a few more for you, Chris. A couple people asked about billing. You were just talking about how you suggest automatic billing. Another person typed in, do you charge your client automatically by charging their credit cards monthly? How do you do that?
Yeah, I do the exact same thing that you guys do. So on the first of every month, I bill through their credit cards. So I have a process for American Express for the big ones, because of course every big company has their American Express card, and then Visa and MasterCard for all the other companies. But yeah, I bill them directly on the first.
All right, excellent. Here's another one for you, Chris. Do you do all the keyword research for a potential client, or only after that client has signed a contract?
Oh no, I do the keyword research beforehand. I do the keyword research to a hot client, someone who says I want a proposal. I can't give them a great proposal if I haven't done the keyword research. So I definitely do the keyword research and include it in the proposal.
All right, so you kind of use that as a closing tool to show you understand their business. You put a little work out there for free. Okay.
Oh yeah,
gotcha.
so look at these 12 keywords. Here's between these 12 keywords, here's 7,000 searches a month. Don't you want to get a portion of that for your business?
Excellent, excellent. Here's another one. Do you do any call to action analysis for your clients after they sign on?
Okay, so in what way would that be a call to action analysis? What is that?
I think they're asking if, like, as part of the on-site implementation for SEO, are we looking at other factors that would make that website sticky or get people to contact
Oh,
us?
I see what you're saying. Yeah, to improve conversion rates and things like that.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm very vested in any client that I bring on. I spend a lot of time on the phone with them. I spend a lot of time talking to them about, why they're getting the results they're getting, what we can do to improve those results. So yeah, on a case-by-case basis, if I know there's something that will really help, really improve, the amount of conversion rates, the amount of conversion that they have, the amount of traffic they're having, I definitely do work. I'd say above and beyond, just here's a package, talk to you next month.
Excellent, excellent. And then the next question, Chad, is probably for you and the marketing team, which is I'm not sure where to find this marketing collateral team. Where can I get it?
Yeah, great question. You can either contact the account manager or call customer service. So call our 800 number and option 2, and we will we'll send that to you. And then I guess if you're, as Chris has said, he's very vested in using our portal. Whenever you're logged in the upper right-hand corner, there's a little link that says support. Hit that and request the marketing materials, and we will send those to you. So we make it.
Yeah, you guys call them sell sheets, right? Those are the
right.
sell sheets.
Right. We have sell sheets, and we're actually, those we're actually, Chris, I've just recently even worked on changing the look and feel a little bit, because we now have a larger in-house design team. So we're constantly improving those and adding to them, and I'm really pleased to hear that you're using them, because sometimes, we create all those materials, and we hope that they're finding a home and getting used, but it's always great to hear the feedback that they are. I'm
telling you, man, I felt like a multi-million-dollar company once I rebranded all those things and printed them all out.
Great, great.
Excellent. Cool. And then last comment here, then, Chad, I'll probably throw it to you for wrap-up, is actually from Chuck. Chuck's a bit of a rock star around here, because he's done previous series of Get to Know a Reseller before, and he's listening in with Chris today, and he said, I really appreciate what Chris is saying about learning the knowledge. There have been a number of questions about what should I know and what can I outsource to HubShout, and the bottom line is be professional, learn the business like Chris is saying, or maybe you should find something else to do. So thanks, Chuck. We're glad you're attending, and we know you always say it like it is, so that's awesome to hear. And that wraps up the questions, Chad.
Well, great. Well, thanks a lot, Chris, for attending. And I think just like Adam said in the last webinar that we have with Chuck, it's always great to just hear. I think everyone, HubShout, we as well as the other resellers on the line today, really get a sense to see it through your eyes, and makes us, helps us, but also I think gives a lot of people inspiration and to realize that this is a great industry. It's growing very quickly, and it's in demand, and it's where the future is. So it's fantastic to hear that you're having so much success and that you've been able to build a successful company for yourself, and that it's something that you're going to continue to do. So thank you very much for your time. We do have one other thing that we wanted to cover today, and that is our giveaway that we started doing on these webinars a couple months ago. But one of the new types of content, and so Chris talked about, we're, again, part of your team, we're always thinking about new ways to approach content marketing. One of the things that Adam and I have been talking a lot about is finding new and compelling and interesting ways to take the content and the information and the keywords that are part of these programs and getting it into different formats. So whether it's video, it's currently articles, video, what we wanted today is offer up a free infographic to one of our lucky participants. So I randomly, while Chris is running through this, randomly picked, and I'm not going to say this person's full name, but I'm going to use first and last initial, Freddie R's name out of a hat here. So Freddie, we will get in touch with you after the webinar, but you have won an infographic. And what we'll do, just so everyone knows, is this is a new content type that we are beta testing now. We're actually working on ways to build these using the writer facts that are part of our program, and then looking for ways to syndicate this information and earn links back to customers' websites. So this is something new that we're playing around with, and we're going to give Freddie a look at one for his website, but it's something the rest of you guys can be expecting to see in the next weeks and months. So I think that wraps it up, and thank you very much to everyone for attending, and as always, this will be posted on our website tomorrow. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris, and we hope to see you in our forums. Have a good afternoon.
Thanks for having me. Great time, guys.